Gorgeous, bright white sclera, enhanced iris color, princess eyes. But at what cost? Well, this bottle and everything associated with it ended up costing me $6,000, but we'll get into that. I want to let you guys know what happened long term with the symptoms I was experiencing from my last video. I posted my last video in June of 2022, and in that one I went over the active ingredient in Lumify, the symptoms I was experiencing, plus reviews and side effects that were listed on the Lumify website. So I will link that video down below. But today I want to give you guys an update and what I ended up having to do after using Lumify. I quickly wanted to address a comment I got on that video. Someone had posted asking if I was a doctor. They didn't even ask me directly. It was more like a third person, like, is she a doctor? Like, to everyone in the comments. No, I am not a doctor, and I believe the intent of that comment was to discredit my experience. And to that, I would just like to say that I bought the product with my own money and I tested it with my own body. So I in fact have a right to share my experience, even though it was negative, because I'm sure those kind of comments with any product, it doesn't matter what it is, if you say anything negative or critical or you have concerns, well, you can't do that because you're not a doctor. But if you want to post glowing reviews or anything positive or recommend the product, then no one ever has an issue. Also, in my last video, I simply went to the Lumify website and read the side effects that the company itself listed. So no, I don't have to be a doctor to just read from their website. So just an interesting dynamic to point out there. A short-term side effect I experienced when using Lumify was sensitivity to light. I had trouble looking at computer screens days after I was using Lumify. It would just be slightly painful to be in front of bright lights, computer. I would feel very squinty, but luckily after I discontinued use, that went away. It subsided completely. And as an aside, I was using Lumify only on special occasions. So if I had somewhere big, like a big date or some big gathering, I would use it then, or instances like this where I'm filming, then I would use it. So I was not a daily user at all, and I still experienced side effects. However, there was one side effect that was long-term and did not subside on its own, and that was my under eye bags, puffiness, fat protruding underneath the eyes. I'm going to cover that at the end of the video. But quickly, I wanted to review some of the comments I got on my original video from real people out there sharing their experiences. This is another reason I love doing videos like this, because I didn't feel alone anymore. When I was first experiencing these side effects, I was a little concerned. I felt a little isolated. I didn't know what to do until I later consulted with my doctor. But once I put this video out, I saw that I was not alone. A lot of you chimed in, and I want to share those experiences. One person said they use these eye drops when they go out and they definitely notice bags the next day. They always thought it was alcohol until they started making the connection. They also experienced the sensitivity to lights. Another user said that they use Lumify twice a day for over 2 years and they still do it, and they noticed that their eyes become so dependent on it, and if they stop, the bloodshot and the redness comes back twofold. One person unfortunately had a vessel break on them, which is how they found the video when they started doing some research. They were experiencing dry eye pain, tired eyes, and brain fog. They were actually pretty shocked to discover that this can come from Lumify. I highly encourage you guys to check out my first video or check out the Lumify website, because some of the more severe side effects are kind of astonishing. You would not expect it to come from just a simple eye drop. Another commenter said that they had been using Lumify for several months and noticed that their redness increased and their irritation increased. Some people said that they experienced a lot of eye ache. Undoubtedly, they did experience the brighter, whiter eyes, but the light sensitivity keeps being mentioned, and the eye ache also. Random eye pain, blurred vision at night, persistent swollen under eyes. A few users complaining about nasal irritation, mainly stuffiness or like a bubbling feeling in the nose. Also, a few people here and there that say they have no side effects. I definitely want to be fair and show you guys both sides of the coin. One user kind of saying a few times here and there and they're fine, but sometimes they experience headaches when they use it, but just to be aware of the side effects and use them sparingly. Some people were wondering if I still use Lumify. I had discontinued use as of June of last year for a couple months at that point, and I have not touched the stuff since. So no, I am no longer using Lumify. It's been over a year. Another commenter said they experienced burning of their eyes, double vision, night blindness, bloodshot eyes, dependency on the product. And to echo the sentiments of some of the commenters, it is really a shame because I'll be the first to tell you the product absolutely works. When I would use this product, the whites of my eyes would become so incredibly white, so white that the blue of my eye would just stand out. And I honestly felt like a pretty princess. That's the best way I described it before like that, and I will keep saying that, but it made me feel like I had pretty princess eyes. This video is definitely not to bash the product, not to bash the company or the brand, anything like that. That's never my intent. But if there are side effects, and they're plainly listed on Lumify's website, I feel like people should have the right to know so that they can make a decision for themselves. Hey, at least I know what could happen. It may not happen to me, but this is what could happen. And then they can weigh it for themselves, whether they want to engage using this product or not. It's better to be armed with the knowledge of what could happen than using it and then it happens to you and you can't take it back. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I'm going to share my experience now of what I had to do, but it is not to fearmonger you. It is just what happened to me. But everyone's body is different and it may never affect your eyes or your body that way. There are people out there that experience no side effects from this product. They experience the benefits and no side effects, which is fantastic. The bags or the puffiness I started experiencing underneath my eyes never went away. It actually got worse. And after making that video and just seeing everyone's responses and being armed with the research that I had done at that point, I decided to visit my doctor. I consulted with my doctor. He examined my under eyes, kind of gave me a wellness check. We went over the product, the ingredients, and the doctor let me know that, that puffiness is not really puffiness. It's a fat that protrudes under your eye with time. So we have this tissue underneath our eyes that holds back that eye fat. But as we age, normal process of aging, it degrades. It gets less strong and it starts letting that fat protrude. And you'll see that with many people. As we age, you see, a little older people, they're having those bags under their eyes. It varies what age it starts from person to person, but that's just what happens with the normal process of aging. However, mine had started with the light sensitivity, and that's what kind of tipped me off because it wasn't gradual, it was all of a sudden. And it turns out that Lumify exacerbated and accelerated that aging process. It helped, I don't want to say helped, but it helped to degrade that tissue faster. So my fat bags came in and came on more strong and earlier than they would have normally and naturally. So after contemplating and kind of chewing on this information for a couple months, I decided to consult with a cosmetic surgeon or a plastic surgeon. Fortunately, there is a procedure called a lower eyelid blepharoplasty that will suck the fat from underneath your eyes and essentially gets rid of those eye bags. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about normal puffiness that happens when maybe you drank too much, ate some salty foods, didn't drink enough water, and then the next day you're experiencing some puffiness that just kind of drains out. These are permanent fat bags under your eyes. So I went to Chicago and consulted with a very reputable cosmetic surgeon. He recommended the lower eyelid blepharoplasty. It's very strange that they call it a lower eyelid procedure because when I think of eyelid, I think of right there where like my lower eyelashes grow, not like this like fatty pad right here, but whatever, that's what they call the procedure. I shared with that cosmetic surgeon the opinions of my doctor that kind of came to that conclusion about Lumify. I shared with him the experiences and he advised that is what he would do if I'm interested in getting rid of those fat bags. Just to be clear, those fat bags weren't hindering my life. They weren't a threat to my health, but they were making me feel extremely self-conscious because there was no amount of ice rubbing, there was no amount of hydration or nutrition or sleep that I could do or get that would improve them. They were just constantly that bad. I will try to pull shots of my eyes from before the surgery, from my videos before the surgery, and then after to compare. It's a little harder to see just because I have these lights here, I have my window here, so it did help to wash it out in my videos, but you can still tell, and actually you can tell in my original Lumify video, the bags that I had, particularly under my right eye. For whatever reason, my right eye was more affected than my left. My left still had the bags coming out, but the right was so much much worse. And that almost made it worse too, that the tissue was not degrading the same. So I would have like my right side was worse, the left side became my good side. It was just very annoying and it was affecting my self-esteem, and I could see it when I watched back my videos, and then especially in real life it was noticeable, and it just made me feel older and it made me look older than I was, and I didn't know what to do. So that's what led me down the rabbit hole to finally consult with this cosmetic surgeon. I went through with the decision to do it. It cost, I can't remember now, around $6,000. He did a great job. I have no scarring from it. Essentially, he just went in. It looked like two little spots, just like a needle went in almost. And he sucked the fat out. And before I had it done, I had him reassure me 10 times. I'm like, so it's never gonna come back, right? If I decide to do this surgery, like, there's not gonna be more fat that accumulates down the road. And he assured me that no, once you suck that fat out from under your eyes, like, that's it, it's not coming back. So I decided to go through with it, and he did an amazing job. It was well worth the money. It left no scarring, and it just makes me feel like me now. I feel better. But back to the point of this video, I wanted to make this video because this may or may not happen to you if you use it, but I would hate to see someone use it blindly, then they have some sort of effect from it, and maybe you don't have $6,000 to spend. Maybe then you just have to live with these bags that make you self-conscious for the rest of your life, and that would really hurt my heart. Another recurring theme I saw in the comments was people asking, well, what did you do? How did you recover from Lumify? What do you suggest instead? If I can't use this, what can I use for my red eyes? I would say when it comes to redness or any other issues you're considering using Lumify for, your eyes are your window to the rest of the health of your body. And I know it's not a popular opinion and people hate hearing this, but what you do and what you put inside your body affects the way you look, it affects the health, and it affects the way you feel. So I would say consult with your doctor, see if you have any deficiencies. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough hydration? Do you have an underlying medical issue that you're just trying to conceal with Lumify? We as people, we just want a magic pill, a magic drop that just takes away all the symptoms, and we often don't want to take the responsibility of looking at the underlying issue. What is our body trying to tell us? I hope this video is helpful to someone. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. It was for information purposes only. If you do decide to use Lumify, let me know how it's going. Use it with caution, and until next time, off I go.
Very clever. Off you go.